Hey financial aficionados, welcome back to another Money Tree and Me episode where we dissect financial issues impacting everyday people and do our best to ensure that you have constructive information to make better choices for yourself, your family, and your future. Because let's face it, life can sometimes be unpredictable and dramatic. Today we're diving into the potential short and long-term effects of Trump's latest tariffs. Spoiler alert, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. More like a cloudy day with a chance of economic chaos. First off, let's clarify what tariffs actually are. Think of them as taxes on imported goods coming into the country. It's like when you go to a fancy restaurant and they charge you extra for the bread. You didn't ask for it, but here we are, paying for something we didn't really want. So, thanks for the bread, but I'd rather have my money back. Now, the original idea behind tariffs was to create a hedge to protect local industries to some extent from foreign companies undercutting the market and reducing profits and market share for domestic companies producing those same goods. But now it often just leads to higher prices for consumers. Why? Well, in large part because less and less goods are actually created and manufactured in the United States, leading to much of what the Rust Belt looks like today. It just isn't as vibrant and productive on the whole as it once was. This has been the case over a number of years now throughout both Republican and Democrat administrations. But as of the date of the recording of this video, Saturday, February 1st, 2025, the Trump administration has taken a hard turn against imports from the very countries that we have bartered with and done business with for many years. Psst, hey, like this video if you ever regretted a purchase, like the time you bought a limited edition item that turned out to be anything but limited. Okay, now back to our regularly scheduled programming. Let's not forget about the job market implication. While tariffs are meant to protect local jobs, they can actually have the opposite effect. Industries that rely on exports can suffer, leading to job losses. While you might think you're saving American jobs, you could be sending them down the toilet. It's like trying to save a sinking ship by throwing out the life jackets. Good luck with that. Now, let's talk short-term effects. When tariffs are introduced, the immediate reaction is usually a spike in prices. It's like when your favorite snack suddenly goes from $1 to $5. You're left standing in the aisle questioning your life choices. Businesses that rely on imported materials will see their costs rise, which means they're likely to pass those costs on to you, the consumer. So get ready to pay more for that avocado toast you love so much, because who doesn't want to spend more of their savings on overpriced brunch? Now, consumer sentiment is another factor. When people feel uncertain about the economy, they tend to hold back on spending. It's like when you're at the buffet and you see the dessert table, but your stomach is already full. You just stare longingly at the cake, knowing that you can't afford to indulge lest you vomit. So, if consumers are worried about their finances, they're less likely to splurge, which can slow down economic growth even further. Speaking of consumers, let's not forget the impact on everyday folks. Higher prices means less disposable income. It's like getting a raise, but then realizing your rent just went up. You're still broke, just with a fancier job title. And if you think you can avoid these price hikes by shopping local, think again. Local businesses often rely on imported goods as well. So congratulations! You're now paying more for everything, and your wallet is crying in the corner. So what is the best way to ensure that you can weather the storm, so to speak? Number one, cut spending in areas that are unnecessary and increase short-term savings. If you follow me, you already know I'm a huge proponent of emergency funds. Everyone who is building a nest egg needs to have an emergency fund for a rainy day. You never know when you might need it, but with looming tariffs and a sure guarantee on prices rising on common goods and services, you can bet that now is as good a time as ever to ensure that your short-term savings is locked and loaded. If you haven't seen my video on 10 ways to save $10,000 and you don't have an adequate emergency fund, I'm going to recommend that you go to my page and watch that right after you watch this one. If you don't feel like you have adequate savings, or you're simply not getting the returns you deserve from your savings account, consider saving your money where you get at least 4% return on your money. Your regular bank savings account will hardly give you even a fraction of that amount. If either of these scenarios sounds like your reality, I want you to click the link on my profile, then scroll down a bit and click the link entitled Wealthfront High Yield Savings Account. There, you can set up your new high yield interest savings account so that you can be off to building the financial security you deserve. And by using the link on my profile, you'll get an additional 3 months of elevated interest, currently an additional 0.5% on top of the current 4% interest rate just for getting started. That's a 4.5% interest rate for your first 3 months. I'll bet your traditional savings account at your bank is giving you back less than 1/10 of that amount. Stop leaving money on the table and open your Wealthfront savings account today. Now, let's look at some potential long-term effects if this tariff situation isn't cleared up in the next few weeks or even coming months. Tariffs can lead to trade wars, which are basically economic slap fights. And if you've been paying attention, those trade wars have already begun. Countries retaliate with their own tariffs, and suddenly we're in a game of economic chicken. This can lead to reduced trade and economic growth. It's like trying to build a house of cards while someone keeps blowing on it. Eventually, everything collapses and you're left with a mess and a lot of regret. And to top it all off, the economic health of the very companies that we rely on to help ensure the growth of our investment portfolios are largely among the carnage left in the wake of the effects of those tariffs, leaving us with higher prices, reduced growth, and often significant losses in our investment portfolios. Let's see how many of you are still with me. Hit that like button if you think tariffs are just a fancy way of saying, let's make everything more expensive. So, what's the takeaway here? Tariffs might seem like a good idea on paper, like a way to protect domestic profits and market share, but as manufacturing and production have declined in the United States, they often lead to higher prices, job losses, and economic uncertainty. Not too healthy for your investment portfolio either. It's like trying to fix a leaky faucet by smashing the sink with a hammer. Sure, it's a bold move, but the results are usually devastating. So let's keep an eye on those tariffs and see how they play out. Spoiler, it probably won't be pretty. If you found this video enlightening, helpful, or at least mildly entertaining, don't forget to hit that like button or, just scroll past and let your financial future spiral into chaos. Your choice. And if you want more tips that will keep your wallet happy and your brain engaged, follow me for more, because your bank account deserves a little TLC too, right? Until next week, I've been Kevin with MoneyTreeAndMe, providing better security and ensuring better lives. Make it a great day.